Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing today? I hope you're doing well, especially on this Friday. It is Friday for you, I know. Yeah, woke up this morning, I'll admit, feeling very discouraged. Um, of course, it hasn't helped, with being on my period this week, finally starting to work through that and everything. Yeah, it's been a rough one coming back onto it after not having it for 3 months. And then, of course, trying to juggle the diabetes and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. And then, of course, everything, happened, with the website on Saturday. Um, and then there's been some other things that happened this week as well. And I know that a lot of this is because of this Saturn retrograde, because it all started pretty much the same time as when, well, aside from my period, but yeah, as far as all of the more earthbound sort of stuff, started at the same time Saturn went into retrograde on Saturday. Yeah. So yeah, it's been a bit of a discouraging week, but at the same point, it's also been a week of learning about myself, um, learning about circumstances and so forth, learning things about people, especially certain people that have been in my life and so forth. Um, and yeah, it's it's been it's definitely been a week of cleansing, I guess you could say. And yeah, like I said, waking up this morning, I was feeling a bit discouraged, and in some ways still am. But I was just laying here in bed and cuddling with my sweet baby girl, whom I, of course, love more than anything. And I was just laying here and doing some thinking and so forth. I'll admit, I started doing a video um, on my tablet with her cuddling and everything, and she took off. And of course, I started crying and this and that and everything. And I was just like, no, stop, rewind. Okay. And I was laying here, and what really turned me around, thinking about, of course, my spirituality, because my spirituality really is my rock. Thinking about that, thinking about my Wheel of the Year reading that I did on the winter solstice last December, thinking about the two cards that I pulled for this month, which are basically I used the Green Witch Tarot for my Wheel of the Year. Then the two cards that I had pulled was the Witch, the number one card, which would translate into the Magician in the traditional Rider-Waite, and also the number 17 card, the Star card, which is Hope. And basically, what that translates into is with the Magician, you have all the skills that you need. Basically, you have everything that you need to be able to manifest what it is that you're trying to do. And the Star card being all about hope. And I'm just, laying here and everything. And to tell you the truth, I was looking at my cutter, my cutting machine. I'll just come right out and say it, especially since now I'm coming out of business and everything, at least, with the November studio. It's a Cricut machine. I was laying here and I was looking at it and so forth, because I'll admit I was thinking about just walking away from everything, just feeling so discouraged about everything, especially with everything that has happened this past week. And I'm just, if anything, I feel that, excuse me, in several ways, it's been a week of cleansing. Um, Looking at, really taking a long, hard look at where I'm at and where it is that I want to go with my life and so forth. And of course, thinking about the readings that have come out this week, because I know they've been hit me a bit hard this week as well. Especially the one that I did with the Green Tarot, where that's, the taproot, but basically the outcome card was the Hermit, the number 9 card. In that deck, it's the Holly King, but basically it's the Hermit card. And that card has really been coming out with me quite a bit this morning. Especially, I don't remember which deck it is. It's the image from one of the other decks, and for the life of me, I can't remember which one it is. But anyway, yeah, I'm just kind of, in some ways, talking things out, but also letting you all see really who I am. Because I'm not always. I'm just same as everybody else. I'm same person, just like everybody else. I have my trials and tribulations, and my highs and lows, just like everybody else does. You know, if life was one big happy ending on a constant basis, what would be the point to living? You know, the whole point of us being here is to be having the human experience, to be learning the lessons that we need to be learning here to be able to take with us to our next incarnation and so forth. And to take with us to the next level and everything. That's how we grow. That's how our souls grow. Otherwise, what would be the point? You know? So that's a lot of things that have been having to be going through my mind this week as well. And also cleansing out maybe some stuff that has been still in my soul that I didn't realize. Facing a lot of that sort of stuff. And learning things, just like, with the turkey, I mean, the turkey, but the vulture spirit that that came out also, where nothing is wasted. Yeah, I've been going through something here lately, learning something really big, but I also realize that it was probably, in some ways, I had some issues with it, with what it is that I was trying to pursue, because it was something that I was trying to pursue. But in some ways, I felt like it was also, I also had some issues with it where I wasn't completely satisfied. It isn't what it is that I really, really wanted. But at the same point, in many ways, I kept being drawn back to it. And I kept feeling like, in many ways, it's more of a, what is it? There's a term that guys will use with certain girls. You know, um, I can't think of it. Before it is they find the one and get married or what have you. If you know what I'm talking about, okay, that's kind of how I was feeling with this situation. And I can't think of the proper term, and I know I try and keep my videos at least PG rated. Test girl, basically. But there's a certain word. Practice. That's the word I'm thinking of. So, yeah, that's kind of how I was that term kind of popped out at me at one point when I was going through all of this, and I was just like, yeah, probably right, but I was still trying to exhaust everything just to be on the safe side. And like I said, it was in some ways it was kind of disappointing or what have you, but at the same point, like with the vulture spirit, nothing is wasted. Take what I have learned and move forward. Just like everything that, with the November studio, taking everything I have learned throughout all of this and move forward. And that's what I'm doing. So, and narrowing things down and so forth. I don't want to rush into anything. That's the thing. I really don't want to. What's the point if it's going to wind up failing? Because anytime you rush into something, it always fails. Every single time. And that's something that I haven't wanted to do, and unfortunately I'll admit that's kind of what I wound up doing with the November studio, is I rushed into it, and for my own personal reasons. Not good, and this is where I wound up being. So, I'm going to take my time with moving forward and do things the proper way that I should have done right from the get-go. Okay? So, let's move forward. I love you all. I'll talk to you all this afternoon.